iFi's long list of audio products and accessories span across quite a broad range, from both desktop to portable high-quality solutions to even various cable and power accessories. One thing that they have been a bit slow to adopt is Bluetooth audio. However, with the release of this, the ZEN Blue, they aim to give consumers the ability to add high-quality Bluetooth audio streaming to practically any desktop or home audio setup. The ZEN Blue is one of only 2 products in iFi's ZEN lineup thus far, with the other being the previously reviewed ZEN DAC. Design-wise, the ZEN Blue is practically identical to the ZEN DAC apart from the actual functions and the ports. It too features a brushed metal panel on the front as well as on the rear, and the main outer casing also features a dark metallic grey finish. Although the exact shade of grey is a little bit different, as the one on the ZEN Blue almost seems to have a slightly warmer undertone. This slight difference in color is something I had also seen on some of iFi's other products, such as the iTube 2, iCan 2 and iDAC. I hardly think such a relatively minuscule difference is done intentionally, and may in fact point perhaps to a very slight quality control issue in the manufacturing. In the case of the ZEN Blue and the ZEN DAC, it's not such a big difference as to be immediately noticeable, and you really do have to concentrate on seeing it. But hey, that's just an extremely minor cosmetic issue. The front panel houses 3 elements, only one of which is a button, whilst the other 2 are LED indicators. The large indicator in the middle, which has the iFi logo, is used to show which Bluetooth codec is currently being used, and these are documented in the user manual. The button towards the left is labeled with a Bluetooth logo, and this is to denote that the button is used to put the ZEN Blue in pairing mode. When you switch the device on, it will automatically connect to a previously paired device, but if you can't find one, then you can also put it into pairing mode by holding in the Bluetooth button until the light on the far right alternates between red and blue colors. The rear is where we find all of the ports, which include both digital and analog outputs. I will just be covering these briefly, so do check out the link in the description, which will take you to the written review if you want to have a closer look at these. Starting on the left is a balanced 4.4mm Pentacon connector, and next to that are a pair of regular RCA connectors. Just to the right of the RCA outputs is a switch which allows you to select between the analog and digital outputs, and to the right of this switch are those 2 digital outputs, namely coax and an optical connection. And finally, there is the connection for the Bluetooth aerial, as well as a 5V power supply connection. So overall, just like the ZEN DAC, the ZEN Blue seems to be reasonably well built and features that same sort of retro charm in its design. Unfortunately, the Bluetooth functionality here can only be used as a receiver. Ideally, it could possibly have been even more useful if it could also be used as a Bluetooth transmitter. As far as the sound signature is concerned, the ZEN Blue does seem to have a slightly more clinical type of sound signature in the sense that it lacks some warmth. Given that we are dealing with an ESS Sabre DAC, I wonder if iFi has dealt with the infamous Sabre IMD hump, or if that's perhaps what's responsible for the slightly leaner presentation. Overall, I think it sounds reasonably transparent, and in a blind test, I doubt that I could, with any certainty, point out if the ZEN Blue was in the playback chain. Hopefully, Amir over on Audio Science Review will be able to do his usual type of review, which gets into the objective analysis of the device to see how faithfully it can handle both the digital and analog signals. I will say this though, and that is the ZEN Blue does sound noticeably better when using an LDAC connection as opposed to a regular old SBC connection. LDAC really does bring us closer to getting a true high-res experience with Bluetooth audio, and this connection allowed my music to sound clearer and less constrained than what SBC does. Of course, if you're an iOS user, then you will unfortunately not have access to using this codec, but for compatible devices it works great. As far as the value of the ZEN Blue is concerned, that will obviously depend on what your needs are. If you already have a good DAC and amplifier setup, but require Bluetooth receiver functionality too, then the ZEN Blue could serve as a great little add-on. In similar fashion, if you have a set of powered speakers and want to give them Bluetooth functionality, then the ZEN Blue seems like a very decent middleman in that scenario, although it does mean that you'd need to control the volume from the source device. However, it seems that iFi have shot themselves in the foot a little bit when we consider how the ZEN lineup will interact with each other, or rather the lack thereof. You see, whilst the ZEN Blue and ZEN DAC look pretty sweet as a stack, the fact of the matter is that they cannot connect with one another. The ZEN Blue might have both coax and optical digital outputs, but the ZEN DAC only has a USB input. So really, the ZEN Blue could very well be an affordable solution for adding wireless connectivity to a sound system, provided that it has the appropriate inputs of course, but it's just not compatible with iFi's other ZEN product. That being said, I still do like the ZEN Blue for what it is and at its given price point. It's got a decent amount of features and gives you the versatility of using it within either the digital or analog part of a playback chain. It would have been great if it could be used as a Bluetooth transmitter too, but that would indeed be a tall order at this price point. So that's it for this quick view on the iFi ZEN Blue. Thank you so much for watching. If you've liked it, hit that like button. If you've disliked it, hit that dislike button twice. That's all from me for now, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.